Welcome everybody to My AI Live. Today is Friday, June 21st. My AI Live. We get together every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. We're talking about the amazing My AI system. We're also showing you how to build on social media, how to build your business, how to create the conversations that are actually going to move the needle and all of that. So let's go ahead and get started today. First of all, we talked this week. We had a request. Where are you? Is it Sharon? I think Sharon had the request.
Yes, I'm here.
And perfect. Okay, you're just not on camera, so I was like, where is she? I'm
Yep,
looking
I'm
for
coming.
her
I'll be
face.
right back on camera. I need to walk away.
Okay.
I'll be right back. But I
All
had a
right.
question about insurance and annuities, how
Right.
to start that conversation.
Yes, exactly. There's Shane Hicks. Yay! I need to have a conversation with you sometime. I've got some good stuff for you. I've got something new. All right. So we were talking. So one of the requests was this week is, how do you talk about your product online? How do you talk about the benefits of your product, but make it sound compelling for somebody else to actually be interested in, right? Especially when it's a subject that, it doesn't normally cause a whole bunch of, skyrockets, jumping out of an airplane, dancing and stuff like that. And a lot of our businesses have like, okay, well, we're going to drink this health and wellness product. And we have to get it across to them that this is going to make great changes in their life. Well, another one is insurance. You've got like companies like Primerica and all these other insurance for financial things. So when you're talking about financial and insurance, how do you make that exciting? How do you make it compelling? And how do you get across what you do for other people? So that was the question. And so here's the first thing, and I'm actually going to give everybody a little piece of homework. You don't have to do it, but if you do it, this is going to help you going forward with how to speak about your product, no matter what it is. Anybody like a little secret for that? Okay, because that's what we do here, right? We give out the little secrets. All right, so if you got a notebook and a pen, this is what we're going to do. Number one, I want you to write out 10 outcomes of your product. And the thing you want to think about are, what are the outcomes? Now for Sharon, she's talking about insurance, annuities, things like that. So what are the outcomes? How do you talk about that online? Because you don't want to just post on there, I sell insurance, because most people will be like, okay. And then they think about their car insurance or this insurance and how their insurance bill's high. And it's like, why do I have to pay this big bill for my insurance? They think about all this other stuff instead. We want to guide them down this is a great thing, right? And we do that through story. And so if you know the outcomes of what your product does, no matter if it's insurance, a health drink, things like that, one of the words that you always want to use in this is imagine. Now, when I think about insurance, and I was thinking about this, and I was talking to this, with my partner, I was like, okay, and I was asking him, I'm like, how would you talk about insurance? Because I really put a lot of thought into this, and I wanted to get his input too. And he said something that was really great. And he was talking about, well, what are the outcomes? And as we were having this conversation, he was actually saying things that kind of stirred up in me. And I thought about, and I'm going to just use house insurance just for an example, just so you can kind of see it, okay? So when I was a kid, we had two house fires in my home growing up. One was fireworks on a shake roof that caught it on fire. And that one ended up being probably late evening sometime when we finally figured it out that the house was on fire. We had to get out. The second one was arson. It was actually arson. Somebody burned down the garage, it caught the rest of the house on fire. I heard a noise and, by gut feeling like, Mom, something's wrong. And she went out there and then came back in screaming, the house is on fire, everybody get out. Okay. When I think about those things, imagine something like that happening. And I think about this as, what was the outcome? There was insurance, there was the wrong insurance. And the car never got replaced. And she didn't have the money to replace the car. So now we're carless in a land without Uber or Lyft. Now, these days, you don't have a car, who cares? No big deal, right? It really isn't. You know,
Right.
if you have the money for Uber and Lyft, you're good, right? You're golden. You can get just about anywhere in this world these days. But in the 70s, that was not the case. There weren't even a lot of taxis in the area. So suddenly there wasn't DoorDash, there wasn't grocery stores, there wasn't all those things. And we weren't able, I mean, it was a pain to get somebody to take us to the store. Many times I would just go walk to the store by myself because my grandmother couldn't, and then she's giving me money to go buy the groceries and bring them home. Okay, at 13 years old. $100 to a 13-year-old who that's a lot of money back then. And that's trusting your kid with a lot of money to go get the groceries for the family. So when I think about the outcome is, imagine, and this is the thing that came to me, Sharon, it was imagine, you know, and if I sold house insurance, imagine what happened to this family. They had this fire, they had this happen, and they had the wrong insurance. And suddenly they were at a loss that they could not fix. Now, notice the word imagine. You're painting a picture. Now, the opposite of that could have been, had all those ducks been in a row and somebody cared enough to talk to my grandmother about the right insurance and what she really should have and everything else. Imagine this thing happened, but imagine that the entire thing was taken care of. Not only taken care of, but speedily and quickly. And not only that, but even better than one of those. Like Jennifer has one of those stories. Probably everybody, to some degree, has some story somewhere, right? I remember I got hit by a car who didn't have insurance. And I had uninsured and underinsured. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I had the things that I needed in place. So when you think about your product, I want you to think in story, not in benefits. Nobody cares about benefits. I could tell you, I could talk to you benefits till I'm blue in the face, and I'm never going to get you excited about benefits. But I can get you excited about a story. Because once you tell my story, you start relating that to me or relating that to yourself. So Sharon, what kind of insurance do you sell? And I am fine with you saying your company name.
I sell life insurance along with annuities.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And
another
it's
story.
all basically life insurance covering
Perfect.
all of
Perfect. I'll give you a story and you're more than welcome to use it if you want.
it. Okay.
So my mother ended up getting married and to my stepfather. And my stepfather was a very, for the sake of this meeting, an interesting person. We'll just leave it at that. And when he died, I figured out when I'm trying to help my mom and make sure, okay, I'm like, well, she's going to have his pension. She's going to have those. She's going to be fine, right? He set up his pension to end when he died. So now she has no money.
Whoa.
And he had no health life insurance. So now my mom is living on his Social Security, or what is allowed for her of the Social Security. And it's like $1,400 a month. Try to live only on $1,400 a month. And at the time when it happened, it was $1,100. I think over the years it's gone up to like $300 to 14 or something like that. So when you think about that, what does life insurance do? If I was going to talk about life insurance, I would talk about story. I would talk about imagine your kids being taken care of. Imagine everything actually being okay. Imagine not having to worry. I would use a lot of imagine, and I would tell people's testimonials and outcomes of what happened because they did and something that probably didn't. Now, some of the other things that I would do, but I wouldn't flood my whole Facebook or Instagram
Oh,
with
no.
stories like that, right? I would put a lot of other stuff on there so people would see my things. But my 20% would be stories like that, and just say, don't let this happen to you. You know, let's have a conversation. Let's just check and make sure everything's okay. Because honestly, if somebody would have said to us throughout all of this, like, let's just check and make sure that everything, all that I'm doing right now to take care of my mom and pay for stuff and get her into assisted living and all this stuff that I'm having to physically pay for wouldn't be happening. Like, the burden's on me, and I'm not going to let anything happen to her, you know? So that's how I would talk about insurance. Was that helpful, Sharon?
Yes, very, very much so, because that's what I was thinking along those lines. But I'm like, how do I verbalize that? And you've given me some ideas today. So
Good.
thank you so much.
You
Yes.
are welcome. That's awesome. Now, so how do we take this to all of your other businesses? So we've got health and wellness here. We have coaching here. We have weight loss here. We have all these different kinds of, we've got some crypto here, I think. We also have some financial here. And all these different things, right? So if you can talk in story with what happened, what the outcome was, and how you helped in that outcome, that's going to do a lot. So for Jenny, she's in weight loss, right? And I'll use her as an example. So now you want to sell insurance, Ed. I did so well and you don't want to sell insurance. That's awesome. Well, you might want to get with Sharon, you know? So Jenny's in weight loss. She can talk about, this is the ways that she can sell her and talk about her business and her product. She could talk about her own story of what it was like to be overweight and the lack of confidence and everything else. And then what happened because of the weight loss and how she's kept it off and stuff like that. That's one. She can talk about she can do the testimonial things of, hey, I'm congratulating so and so, one of my clients, she just got to her goal weight of blah 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 pounds, which you should do that with Mike. Ask Mike for pictures and then say you want to congratulate him online. Okay, the next thing that she could do though is talk about her people. So Mike's not on here today, but Mike's lost 70 pounds, right? So she could talk about, there you are, Mike. You know better than be off camera. Okay. So she can talk about, hey, my client Mike came and he had tried all these different diets and he'd done all this other different stuff and it never worked. And even when he did lose weight, he gained it back and stuff like that. And now he's at his goal weight of blah, 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 or as close to his goal weight. I want to celebrate him. And here's how he's keeping it off. This is what I showed him. It gives credibility because she's talking about something else. One other thing you can do also is if you have downline or customers that have benefited from your product, ask them if they'll post something for you. Just ask them if they'll post something for you. Tell them you'll give them some free product, or if they don't want to be a part of the business or whatever. But when they do that, then share their post on your feed. It's that credibility coming back. So let's show you in your Nowsite program how you can do some of these things. You can do them in a lot of different directions. But no matter what your company or product is, there are certain principles that work the same across all things. One, you've got to understand what your brand and your message is. Two, you want to talk in story of what happened and how it happened and what outcome of it was. And third, you want to give a lot of value posts of tips and stuff of how to do this. Okay, those are the three areas you really want to keep by. Yeah. Yep. Story sell. That's it. So, and here's the thing, what we tend to do is, because we're so excited about our product or business, we want to talk in benefits. Well, it has this much vitamin E, and it has this much vitamin C, and it has this much glutathione, and it has this much this or whatever, you know? and nobody cares because that doesn't register to a benefit, which it doesn't register to an emotion to them. But when you talk in story, it hits the emotion, and that's what you're trying to trigger is the emotion and the imagination. And you want them to think, could I possibly get the same results? That's the question. That's the thing you're trying to get them to think about. Could they possibly have the same results? So let's go over to our Nowsite program now. Let's go ahead and make our posts. First of all, I do want to show you where your replay is. So when you come over here, you're going to come over to the official corporate Nowsite group, the official corporate Nowsite group. And this is where you will find all of it. Yay, Chris, and he's on here. Yay. Okay. This is where you're going to find all of your replays and all of your new information and announcements of things and stuff like that. So you want to make sure that you are a part of this group and that you're always, that you've got notifications on for this, of course. If you want to find out more about me, my name's Elizabeth Larson. I am a personal business transformation coach. I am a speaker, teacher, trainer, author. I am an entrepreneur, network marketer. I have been building businesses online for a very, very long time and teaching social media to network marketing companies and people for over 10 years. So it's been a long time that I've been doing this. All of the posts on my pages are made with the My AI system. So if you ever want to go and don't have an idea or something of what to post, come over here, feel free to use copy something and do the make it your own. And the make it your own is over here. So let's talk about the different types of posts that we can do. Now, Sharon's in insurance, right? So she could do this a lot of different ways. She could do a caption and suggested image. And that's when you don't have an image to go with it. So for her with life insurance, some of the images she may want to use are of, maybe the outcomes of what happens if there's not insurance, and that might be some of the thoughts that she thinks, well, if she's going to use a suggested image. She may also come over here to make it her own because her cohorts or the people that she works with or that she's in line with may be making posts on their social media that they really like, that she really likes. And she's like, oh, I'd like to do that. She could click make it her own. She could come over and then, yeah, of course, screenshot the post that she wants, come over here, upload it, and it will make a post just like it for her. That's her own post like that. So that's one of the ways also. Selfie AI, she can take a photo of herself. She could take a selfie and then talk about the blessing of what she does, or maybe even talk about something that's not insurance related at all, what she's doing this weekend, how she's overcome something. Sharon, in your insurance, is there a network marketing component or a component where you can have other agents underneath of you?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, she could take a selfie AI and talk about her own story of why she started in her business and how she helps other people start in their own businesses and the joy that she gets from that. So that's another way that she could do this. And really, since you have the network marketing component, Sharon, I would probably do both kinds of posts for your 20%. I would do part of it as what happens when you have the right insurance and everything is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would also do the why you started in your own business, how it's transformed your life and finances. Stay compliant with the finance
Yes.
part though,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But why you did this and how you help other people do that. That's another one that you can do. Capture my image. If you have an image that goes with what you're doing, you can utilize that too. The AI will look at the image and then help you write the post. Short text only posts, of course, when we come over here, I'll show you some of mine. This is a short text only post. It starts great conversations. I've got 44 comments already, and I haven't even answered all of the comments yet. And so what it does is it helps the algorithm. It starts conversations back and forth through the comments. And of course, that really helps start conversations and helps your algorithm. All right. Caption my video. Maybe she has a video. Maybe she did a video of something. Video is actually so much simpler than what we make. See this? It's your video machine. You can go and just put a camera on and that's it, right? And so with that, you're able to look and be able to put that on there. And then upload the video and use that, right? All right.
Okay.
Long post and suggested image. Long post and suggested image is great when you want to give a lot of tips. So Sharon may want to give 3 tips, right? 3 tips to what to look for in an insurance package. 3 tips to look for financing for the right price in insurance. 3 tips to why you should look at starting a side gig, right? And so with the side gig, you can and especially 3 tips of why to start the side gig. That one's huge because you can go and talk about why that, and then talk about, in the US, you get tax benefits, suddenly you've got all these extra tax benefits, you have all these other things. So the 3 tips for that could be really great too. Now, last but not least, the surprise me. When we click the surprise me, this is when we just don't know what we want to post and we're going to click the surprise me, right? And so there's nothing quite like driving into a good book to lift my spirits. From Atomic Habits and The One Thing, these gems have transformed my life. What's your go-to read when you need a good boost? Share in the comments below. Now, I love this one. So I could go and hit get started, hit post, and I can choose to either use the photo that it gave me, or I can go online and find a post about Atomic Habits or something else and use that instead. So something like that. So when you go to post, you're just going to come over to the place. You're going to copy and put your post in here. You're going to hit photos. And then you're going to hit that. You're going to upload your photo, whatever the photo of choice is. And did not download the other photos. So you'll upload your photo, you'll hit next, and then you will be done. So with that, let's take 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and do our post real quick. When we do the post, we want to make sure that we're looking for, what we're looking for is what the outcome is, what we want to talk about, because the outcome is all about the imagination, right? We want them to imagine that the outcome that we are talking about is the outcome that's possible for them. So go ahead and make your post now. Again, what kind of conversations do you want to have? And with those conversations, what is the outcome that you want from those conversations? And what is the outcome you want to talk about that you want them to do? So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And then we'll start. And I'm going to answer questions during this 5 minutes, though. We're going to take the 5 minutes. And we will. Okay, and then I'm going to answer questions at the exact same time. So first, okay, so Chris, let me answer Chris's question first. So he says, this is only my 2nd training and it's awesome. Does my AI do more than social media? For example, write ebooks, web pages, video scripts? Don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful. No, yes, absolutely. And it's a perfect question. It's a perfect question. I hope that's okay that I read that. Because I wanted everybody to know, yes, it does. Now, let me tell you what it can't. So there's a couple of things. First, if you have the full AI system, let me show you where you're going to go, because this is really, and you should be able to do this. If you, Chris, do you have the full system or just the My AI? Go ahead and unmute.
Just the My AI. I wasn't aware of another level.
Perfect. Okay, let me show you where you're going to go to do this, and make sure on yours right now that you have access to that, because I think this part comes with the My AI system and not the full thing. Okay, everybody ready? This is really cool. You're going to love this. All right, over here, when you're at home, you're going to come over to these buttons on the left side and right this one that looks like a suitcase. You're going to go over to My AI Chat. When you come over here, you're going to start a new chat and you're going to say, write me a blog post about mindset. That's all I'm going to give it. And of course, it's turning and turning and turning and turning, and it's going to take a minute for this to go, right? All right. Let's dive into the transformative power of mindset. And now I've got this entire blog on mindset, Chris. So this thing, you can have it help you write a training. It can give you your bullet points for what you need, for what you're going to speak about. It can write pretty much anything that an AI can do, this can do. Is that helpful, Chris?
Sorry, yes, that's very helpful. Thank you. I'm
Okay.
super impressed.
Perfect, perfect. All right. Now remember, when you first log in, you're going to be onboarding your AI. Now you can always go back and add more information. Remember yesterday, I think it was yesterday or the day before we went through that. So just make sure. I'm going to go ahead and share screen. Come over here real quick. And then when you scroll down, you can see train my AI. And when you train my AI, this is where you're going to find all of the information that you can add in there. So remember, the AI is always going to write like it's you. So the more the interest that you put in there, the more popular figures you put in there, the more learn about me, the more detailed you are here, the more write like me that you like. Tweak this periodically, put some special instructions down there. If you do all of this, when you go to write your blog posts and everything else, it will really sound like you. Like I've trained this AI so much because I do the training every day and I use it for my real social media. Like no joke, I actually use this program all the time because I love it. It writes, I don't have to give it too much direction. I just tell it what to do and it just gives it to me and it sounds just like me now. So it will take a little bit for that to happen. So keep playing with it and keep going in and tweaking, write longer, write shorter, do more emojis, do funnier, do less funny, more expert and stuff like that. As long as you continue to do that, it'll help. It will start sounding like you, Chris. Great job. Yay. Love you, Jennifer. All right. Let's go. All right. Paul, you had a question. Paul had his hand up. There. Hi, Paul.
Well, thank you.
You're
That
welcome.
original hand up was for the beginning. But I had a question before with everything you're putting together through AI. I'm wondering, when do you even need a website with everything you're doing with Facebook, et cetera?
Perfect. Perfect. That is a great question because I own a website design and hosting company also. So great question of when somebody does need a website. So if you're in network marketing, you don't necessarily have to have a website outside of your company site where you're signing somebody up. If you are creating conversations and then always taking them to Zoom and then always walking them through the sign up like Sarah Robbins teaches. Where you're going to use a funnel and a website is if like Chris is going to blog, right? Or Chris is going to write stuff and he wants to actually attract people by writing. So Facebook is only one area and only a percentage of the population is on there. And so my very first network marketing company, I actually signed up based on a blog on a website, but the blog was posted on Facebook. And so it was posted on Facebook. I went over to the site, I read the blog, and it was like, oh, yeah, okay. Got busy, got distracted, left, didn't do anything with it. 2 weeks later, another blog was posted. I read the post. I read the post. I clicked the thing to go over to the blog. I read the blog. And this time it captured my interest. I ended up looking through all the rest of the website, and she looked so credible because of all the information on there, all the blogs she had written, all of that, that I decided to buy the kit right then and there. I'd never met her. I never met another person. I bought the kit right there, and boom, I was suddenly in network marketing. So website is going to be based on if you are branding yourself and if you're going to use that as a vehicle for like blogs or other things, information to get people to you. If you're only doing conversations like what we're teaching here on the My AI, you do not necessarily need a website. However, at some point you will want it. Let me qualify this. At some point, if you are going to be a large leader, your large leaders all usually have their own website because they've branded themselves. They're collaborating on other things. They're doing big trainings for the whole company, stuff like that. At some point, you'll probably want to have a website, but you don't necessarily have to have a website to build your business. I hope does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. That was really good.
Good, good. All right. Any other questions today? Shane, I'm going to text you. I have something for you that I think is going to be really great with your Reboot VA. I've been thinking a lot about stuff, so I think I've got something. I think I've got a fix or something that will help. So it may not. We'll see. All right. Everybody else good? All right. So let's do this. No AI tomorrow. Thank you, Cheryl. I thought of you and I was like, wait a minute, what is today? Friday. So Cheryl doesn't have to fix me and say, Elizabeth, you're off tomorrow. Thank goodness. I remembered. So Monday we'll start back up My AI Live at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 8 a.m. Pacific. Bring your questions and we are going to help you build on social media and do what you need to do. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Love you all. Feel free to unmute. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Love you
you.
all. Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, Elizabeth.
See you
Thanks for your help.
soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you
Bye.
Monday. Yeah.
Recording stop.